Welcome to This Week in Crowder College, an in-depth look into how Crowder College students, faculty, and staff are working together so students soar to new heights, communities are impacted, and lives are changed. This Week in Crowder College is sponsored by the law offices of Wood and Peterson in Neosho, specializing in workers' compensation, personal injury, Social Security disability, and more. Learn more online at neoshoattorney.com. Now here's this week's edition of This Week in Crowder College.
Hey there, Four States. This is Luke Taylor, and we have on the program with us today on This Week in Crowder College, we're inviting back to the program Dr. Taylor Corlee, and he is a speech and debate. Well, he's a director of forensics out there at the college, but also is leading their speech and debate team. And we want to hear a little bit more about that team today and some recent success they had. So, hey, Dr. Corlee, thanks for being with us here on the program.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited to always share the great news of things that are happening with students, and especially the speech and debate team at Crowder.
Yeah, well, so you were just telling me that you all went overseas. It's still in America, but you all went pretty far for a recent tournament. I want to hear a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so we just recently got back about a week and a half ago from Honolulu. We were invited for the Pan-Pacific Debate Tournament, which was a British parliamentary style debate.
Wow.
But yeah, we were invited to go out that way, and we did the 12-hour flight there and 12-hour flight back, and had a great time.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you said Trans-Pacific. So were there other countries that were involved in this as well?
It was a Pan-Pacific.
Oh, okay. Pan-Pacific, got it.
That's okay. But yeah, there was a handful of schools. I think there were some from Alaska, some from Denver, some from the United States. I think Air Force Academy was part of that as well. And so these are some of the top schools in British parliamentary debate. I won't name one specific, but one of those schools is like 13th in the world in parliamentary debate. So it was kind of fun to have a bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
When we went up to debate them.
Yeah, sounds like it. Yeah. So how many students did you take out there?
I only took two. So I took my regular competitor who does debate for me, and then he was able to I had another student who was interested in debate, and they were practicing over the last few months, and so he joined us as well.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and so did you guys feel like you had a really successful time out there?
Yeah, so we went out there, we competed. This was our first time ever doing British parliamentary debate. We normally do, I think maybe last time I was on this podcast here, or the episode we were talking about was IPDA debate. That's what we normally do. But British parliamentary is kind of like what you see if you ever watch like any of those parliamentary hearings where people are slamming on the tables, and it's a little more structured. But it was our first time doing it, and we ended up ranking fifth out of the tournament, and that was a huge accomplishment. We kind of went in knowing we weren't going to rank first, even though we would like to, because it was our first experience. But being able to beat some of those schools and teams that have a high record of success in that field, it was a great accomplishment for us.
Yeah, it definitely was. And so I'm glad you guys all went there and represented Crowder well, and hope you can do it again somewhere down the road. And let me talk about that real quick before we go too, is, if there's people out there listening and that they might have an interest in, going to college at Crowder and maybe debate and speech and all that is something they'd like to grow in. You all have an active club that's involved in that, and tell us a little bit about if people want to find out more about it.
Yeah, so if you are interested in speech and debate, whether you have no experience or whether you have high school experience or even middle school experience, if you've had that back then, the best way is just to reach out to me at taylorcorlee@crowder.edu. You can also reach out to the university to get some more information on that. But the one thing I really like to kind of brag about our program is that I'm open to whatever you're interested in. So you'll find a lot of speech and debate programs tend to focus on certain styles of debate or maybe certain events that they do. This is an area for you to explore your strengths and your weaknesses and to grow in that. So I invite anyone who's interested in learning how to fine-tune their debate skills, their public speaking skills, to reach out and join the program.
Well, and I want to say this too for, if someone's not interested, I remember something you said last year that when you grow your speech and debate skills, that's applicable in just about any avenue of life, not just if you're not if you're just going to be a lawyer or something like that where people think about talking a lot. But it's so useful just to be well acclimated in all of those abilities to communicate well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. 100%. I also work for another university with engineering students, and I can tell you there are some communication skills that they need. Now, I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's important. I think any field that you're in, it doesn't matter if you're, especially with Crowder being a technical college, you have some of those kind of blue-collar type jobs, and you don't think communication is going to be important, but you never know when you're going to have to give a presentation or when you're going to have to persuade your manager or boss to give you a raise. There's always opportunities for you to use your communication skills. Yeah,
absolutely. So, and again, if people want to find out more, like crowder.edu, but do you want them to reach out to you, or is there a Facebook page they can follow your group or anything?
I don't have a Facebook page, but they can look up Taylor Corlee at Crowder, or just Taylor Corlee at crowder.edu and just send me an email. And I'd be happy to chat with them. Yeah.
No, I really do encourage people just to check it out. Even, like I said, if someone's not interested, like, well, I don't like public speaking. Maybe you can get actually pretty good at it, and it can just be a skill that I think will serve people really well in life. And so, thanks for making that opportunity available to them.
Well, thanks for having me.
All right. Well, we've been speaking with Dr. Taylor Corlee out there at Crowder College, and hope we can have you back on again somewhere down the road, sir.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you for listening to This Week in Crowder College. This Week in Crowder College is sponsored by the law offices of Wood and Peterson in Neosho. You can listen to this broadcast again by going online to kneo.org or to crowder.edu. Tune in once again next week for another edition of This Week in Crowder College on KNEO 91.7 FM.